multiple job interviews, right, for different varied positions pertaining to the agile. Okay. So what I do is that, as usual, let me just start sharing my screen and then we can get started. 1 minute. I have just prepared some slides just for our walkthrough, or our for to organize the flow of thoughts. Okay. So let me actually begin with the introduction. Can actually someone confirm me? Are you able to see the slides? Okay, fine. Okay, so this particular slide is a quick introduction about myself, like in terms of the years of experience in IT and agile engagements, and my educational, the qualifications pertaining to computer science, engineering, executive MBA, and my advanced strategic management program in IIM. I do have 13 agile certifications. Currently, I am actually playing the role of an executive agile coach and also heading the agile transformation office in my organization. I have presented multiple white papers in agile transformation, and I've been a speaker in both national and international level conferences. Also formulated agile mentorship program as a part of expediting your career trajectory in agile. These are all the clients with whom I have actually worked in the past. This is the framework what we have for our agile mentorship the mentorship program. That's a quick introduction about myself. Okay, so in this particular agenda, I have just formulated the flow of the session in terms of, first of all, to understand, okay, if you are taking agile space predominantly in the IT field, probably what are all the jobs which are available. Then probably, yes, we do have some kind of tips and techniques to crack the interview, or rather to prepare better for the interview. But I do not recommend any kind of a shortcut to success, because any success obtained by shortcut means are not going to sustain in the long run. So let me be very outspoken and candid on that front. So, but still, yes, we do have some tips and techniques wherein you can, if you probably follow those tips and techniques, you can accelerate your career journey. Okay. And then we are also going to talk about something on the mindset aspect in terms of continuous learning, and then probably to understand better that cracking job alone is not the intent here, because the intent is to demonstrate your real-time capabilities in a consistent manner and to be on the path of growth mindset. Of course, in this particular journey, getting jobs and getting better career pursuits are anyway going to become the byproduct in the journey. So probably from that particular thought pattern, I have formulated this particular agenda. Okay, now let us actually get into the crux of the session. Now, first of all, if you are taking multiple JDs, if you are trying to look multiple know the email conversations or the job portals, you can see a pattern over there. Okay, now what are all the jobs which are available typically in a IT domain as far as the agile space is considered? Yes, one thing, if you are beginning the journey from a product space, becoming a product owner or rather a product manager, these two things could be one of the thing. And if you are talking on the process space, yes, becoming a scrum master, becoming an agile coach, becoming a release train engineer from the safe point of view, these are all some of the jobs which I see from a process orientation point of view. And then within agile coaches itself, I could see some pattern emerging, like how are you going to get positioned? Are you actually going to be a team level coach, or a program layer coach, or an organization level enterprise agile coach, or how are you going to be positioned? Depending upon whom are you coaching, depending upon the target group, okay, which is getting coached by you, probably you will be positioned at that particular appropriate level. It could be a team coach or a program coach or an enterprise coach. And one more pattern what I see is that, preferably if I want to name some companies like JP Morgan or some companies of that level, I see JDs coming up in the pattern of a software craftsmanship coach, which is more on the technical aspects of agility. And then you have some roles picking up in the market more from an architecture point of view. It could be a system architect or a solution architect or an enterprise architect, depending upon the context of the requirement need. And I also see some jobs coming more on the DevOps space. It could be a DevOps engineer or a DevOps consultant kind of a role. Of course, one of the point to be kept in mind is here we may also need to include our project managers. One second, please. Project and your program managers, program slash, because if you're doing a large scale agile transformation, yes, we do have some, we still have some project managers under program managers. So these are all some of the patterns of the JDs or patterns of the jobs. So first one need to be cognizant about where is the market demand, is it trending towards. See, I'm not here going to talk on big data or Hadoop, data analytics, cloud computing and all, because the topic of this session is to confine within the agile space, right? So more from an agile or a process orientation, or from the agile coaching competency framework confinement, these are all the roles which I could see in the market. Now, one need to be very clear on where is my capability and what comes naturally to me and where is my interest area. Accordingly, you may need to define your career trajectory, right? So you need to define your career trajectory saying that, okay, I know about this product backlog, but I'm not so inclined on the product space. So let me become a Scrum Master. Or probably I have done a Safe Agilist certification or a Scaled Program Consultant certification. So I wanted to try out an RTE role, or I wanted to be positioned as an enterprise agile coach. So one of the best way to prepare for any job for that matter is to understand what are all the capabilities, what are all the competencies needed for that particular position, and where am I currently, and what needs to be done to plug the gap, right? So if someone says I have the aspiration to become a CEO of an organization, nothing wrong. But do you know what does a CEO do in a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis? What are the roles and the responsibilities of a CEO? Can you tell right away 10 points without doing a Google search? Can you tell that, okay, these are all the 10 points which a typical CEO in a particular IT organization does? At least you need to have the theoretical knowledge, at least to begin the journey. Then comes the experience of plugging the gap, right? So just to make it more commonsensical and very simple, you can select one among the role, out of these particular things, and then try to draw a career trajectory for you. And then you may need to come up with a plan for you, right? No, how am I going to improve my capabilities? Okay, so probably you can begin the journey from there. Okay, in the meantime, while we are walking through the slides, whatever questions or thoughts which comes to your mind, feel free to put it in the chat. I actually may not be able to read the chat or pings on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook as of now, but whosoever had connecting through the creator, you can actually put your chats over there so that we can pick it up for our discussion subsequently. Okay, now probably how will you okay, now we have understood that, okay, let's say a particular position, particular person says, my career aspiration is to become an RTE. My career aspiration for now is to become a release train engineer because I have completed a Safe Agilist, or some people have even completed Safe RTE certification. So they actually wanted to play the role. Okay, so you define the goal or your career trajectory. Now what you need to do is, I'm not saying people to fake things. All that I'm saying people is, when you are modifying your resume, don't modify the resume alone. You also need to take some candid measures for you to develop that particular capability, right? So you may need to play the role of a program coach, or you may need to play the role of a lead scrum master, or you may need to play the role of an RTE in at least for 1 or 2 engagements or the program increments to really get that hands-on feel. Then from there, you may need to get into the preparation mode, and you need to get into a habit of continuous learning. Okay, now some people ask me, what are all the avenues of possibilities to learn? Yes, quite obvious. Attending webinar like these sessions will actually expand your horizons of thinking. Then probably you can attend meetups. You can read white papers on agile on multiple companies, or if you're getting an opportunity to speak to industry experts, yes, and you can attend some agile conferences. If you start doing all these things, no, over a period of time your network will expand, and and you will also understand, okay, where does the industry or market is heading towards, right? So you may need to try out whatever works out for you, okay? And some people learn from YouTube videos, some people learn from downloading some white papers or thought papers of multiple companies, and then they used to compare and then learn. And one of the best way to learn is observe people who are already playing that role, and then try to imbibe some good traits from them. And you may also, if you wanted to expedite your career trajectory, like you may have a mentor or a coach. Oh, and one more thing is, you can just experiment by start writing blogs, or start making some particular YouTube videos on one small topic. You can, okay, let's say for example, if you know estimation, agile estimation, then why don't you write a blog on it? So everything the first time will be like a like with actually some kind of a glitches or a setback, but then you may need to slowly start doing this. Okay, now my suggestion is, if you do all these things, maybe over a period of 4 to 6 months, you will have better clarity, and you will have your scope of thinking is going to get broadened down. And then you can even come back to these roles and then see, okay, currently I have got a role of an RTE. From here, where do I need to go? Okay, do I need to again get into the delivery space, or can I tread the path on the coaching space? Okay, so my suggestion is, probably you may need to listen to your heart, and whatever your heart says will be more suitable to you, take that role. Of course, you can get some guidance and clarity from outside, but outside factors should not decide where you want to go, right? So that point of view is also important. Okay, so probably these are all some of the things. Okay, so what I'll do is that, just to take a pause, I'll just go to the chat and see, do you have any questions? Okay, we don't have any questions. Okay. Now let me tell one thing. Some people ask me, okay, some people ask me, we are not having enough JD to prepare, and for some jobs they are not sharing us the JD. So where will I go for JD? So if you have such kind of a challenges, one of the simple suggestion, right, which comes to my mind is, you can go to LinkedIn portal, like you can create a sign up account, or you can actually sign into LinkedIn. And then let's say you are actually applying for the role of an agile coach. Just type on the search, and then go here and start looking into two tabs particularly, right? One is the job tab, second is the people tab. Why? Because the moment I type agile coach and I click on people, you are actually viewing the profile of so many people who are playing that role hands on in the field, right? If you just go through few of the profiles, then you will come to understand how they started their career, and where are they currently, and what kind of responsibilities they are holding. If you go through these profiles, you can understand to some extent. Now, instead of people, if you click on jobs, right, then no, probably if you can go through these JDs, then at least to a very considerable extent you can understand what does the position demand, what are all the capabilities, the skills or competencies which a particular organization requires. So you can get a very considerable understanding. So this is how you may need to prepare when your consultancies or companies are not sending JD, right? Because any job without a JD, it is walking on a slippery road. At any time you may slip and then fall down, because at least JD will give a orientation to customize your preparation. If a company says, hey, it's an agile coach, like, right, it's a scrum master, you have already played the role of a scrum master, so we don't have JD, believe me, the probability of getting the job is very less. Because we actually don't know what they want, and you actually don't know how to prepare on what topics. So the distribution of the effort, the weightage points, is actually going for a task. In that case, you may try to Google and then try to get some details, or if you have a connect in that organization, probably you can connect with them and then see, right? So now let me take a pause. I'll just come back to the slide. I just wanted to know from the audience, are we people clear on these roles, or you wanted to ask me any questions on the roles itself? When I say roles, whatever roles I have put over here: product owner, product manager, project program managers, scrum master, agile coach, RTE. Are you clear on these roles? Because these are the varieties of the roles in the job market, typically from an agile point of view. If you have any questions, you can post it there in the chat. Okay, I don't see any questions here. Okay, so can I ask a question then? Can someone ping me in this chat? What could be the difference between a product owner and a product manager generally? Okay, in the meantime, Subramanyam has, please give your insights on consultant role of Scrum Master. Is it defined only for Agile transformation? Okay. We need to understand that whether that particular client or company really has a well charted agile transformation roadmap, point number one, or they are now trying to experiment some pilot projects using agile, so they wanted a consultant or a scrum master kind of a role. Okay, so we need to look into the client's landscape, and then only we can comment. But then, just to cut a long story short, most of the organizations will actually try it on a pilot mode. Okay, they will take few projects which are not that risky or not that particular business critical. Then they will try to move from a waterfall mindset or from a waterfall model to a agile way, and then based on the learnings, you can slowly, expand the radius of influence or the circle of influence. Okay, that is my say. Did I answer your question, Subramanian? Can you put your comments in the chat? So a Scrum Master role need not be tied up only for Agile transformation, because even for the word Agile transformation, like we need to understand whether the Agile transformation is for a particular portfolio level, or at a program level, or at an enterprise level. So we need to define the boundary of it, right? So for example, when we used to write a performance a test plan and document, the first thing we will define in scope versus out scope. Means what? Performance testing will be done within the boundary of these applications. Anything outside of these particular applications will not be touched for performance testing. Along the similar line of thought, when you're doing an agile transformation, first you define the boundary. Why? Because it is the banks of the river which is going to define the river. If there is no banks on the river, you cannot define a river. So first define the scope of the work. From the scope of the work, then you can create a program charter or a team charter, your agile transformation roadmap. Then from there, you can create your coaching plan. But if you don't define the boundary, then too many discussions will happen unnecessarily. Okay, that is one thing which you need to keep in mind. Okay, Sri Nagesh says product owner is a team facing role, and here the PM is product manager. Okay, so product manager is more as a business facing role. Yes, to a very considerable extent, yes, because product owner is more of a, okay, let me actually put it in the chat. Product owner as such is more of a tactical role, whereas product manager is more of a strategic role. Okay, so see, some companies will also try to use these particular terms in an interchangeable manner and all. But the point what I'm trying to say is, product owner is the internal voice of the customer, right? Because the team cannot always get a chance to speak to your client or your client to surrogate directly. So product owner represents the product space of agility. He is a business value maximizer, which is fine. But who is giving input to the product owner? How come your product owner came to know, hey, these are the priority features for this quarter? How does your product owner know the product roadmap? From where does the priorities come? Priorities will also always have a touch point or a reference with the external market also, right? See, for example, we actually launch a feature in a product, and then we see feature usage index. We have a metric called feature usage index, right? 1 minute. I just want to put these terms there so that it will be useful to the audience. Feature usage index. So depending upon the feature usage index, then I take a call. Okay, probably funding this particular feature doesn't give us that much envisaged return on investment. So probably I may need to do some changes in the funding model. So there is always a strategic layer, okay, above your tactical operations, all those things. So product manager could be more at that level from the product management group, interacting with the client surrogate or the business sponsor for more funding, more on the market aspect of the product space. Whereas in terms of getting the market aspect into the play field of execution, that is where your product owner role comes. But then I always say, these are all just terms. If someone is asking you some more roles and responsibilities of a product owner and a product manager, question them back on the context of that particular question, pick up some clues or indicators from the context, then customize your answer and then deliver the answer. Don't have a generic answer always, okay? Because generic answer will not create an impact. Only tailored solutions is going to create an impact, okay? All right, so that is one point which you may need to keep in mind. Now, in the interest of time, I'm just going back to the slides. Okay, see, somehow I actually felt that when I'm actually talking about this cracking jobs in the IT, definitely I need to touch upon an important thing called the mindset. Okay, because we all talk about agile mindset, and everyone says that doing agile versus being agile, and here, okay, and the clients use, experts in the industry use, and in much of the conferences it has been spoken, the doing agile versus being agile. But then as an individual also we need to understand this mindset is also accountable or responsibility of each and every individual, right? Because from where does the mindset come? Mindset comes as a bundle, collection of thoughts, collection of what you give importance to as a team, as an organization. So if you want to really crack your job interviews, not only in an agile, in then any aspect of, for that matter, I don't think we have any shortcuts. Yes, we have some tips and techniques, but then there is no shortcut for sustained success. One need to get into the mindset of a continuous learning. Okay, I will give a simple example. One guy asked me, okay, so you mean to say that we are doing product backlog refinement, feature backlog refinement for the readiness of the PI? So I actually told him back. The answer is no, because actually speaking, I'm not doing the product backlog refinement, feature backlog refinement just to get the readiness for the program increment planning. No, I am doing it actually to create a continuous flow orchestration. But if you create a continuous flow orchestration, it is anyway going to be define the it is going to benefit the program increment planning. But I'm not creating my product backlog visibility, my program backlog visibility just for the sake of a PI. Okay, so sometimes we need to be very clear on what is the output or the outcome versus the byproduct in that journey. Getting ready for the PI is a byproduct, and I have seen many teams or team of teams or arts struggle because they are not having that tendency or mindset inclination towards creating a continuous visibility on the product horizon. So what they do, next week you have PI. Now they start thinking about, hey, what I need to do, what are all the priority features. Within 4 days, the PA is going to begin. Now they think about features. Urgently, they write a user story. Then they think about acceptance criteria. And what happens? It is like haste makes waste, right? That kind of a thing happens. If you decouple the readiness for the PA from the actual PA, and if you are able to get into a predictable rhythm in terms of creating visibility on the backlog, believe me, anyway, your PI will be taken care, right? So I just want to give this simple example to tell having a mindset of preparing for an interview versus having a mindset of a continuous learning. Okay, so I just thought to use this example to make you understand. Okay, now, so what is the difference between preparing only for the sake of an interview versus a continuous learning mindset? Probably these are the differences. Generally, I have seen candidates when they are preparing for the interview, they still have the tendency to ask someone, hey, what are the frequently asked questions? Okay, had you attended this company last week? So can you share me some questions? Probably I can take some pointers. Nothing wrong in it, but confining only to those questions which someone gives, there comes the mistake. Okay, the mistake never lies in seeking out to understand. Okay, for this company last week you have attended, right? So what is the expectation for this role? Nothing wrong in that, but confining your preparation fully bounded to what you hear from them, there comes the mistake. Because we need to understand, though the JD is same and the position is same, questions are also asked in tune with the person's resume. So you actually don't know what that guy mentioned in his or her resume, right? So you can take pointers, but don't get confined with deep pointers. And then using jargons without understanding the meaning and the intent. For example, someone uses the word strategic themes, and we also blindly use the word strategic theme. If you ask them, can you give me a real-time example of a strategic theme? They will not be able to give. Or they will tell the exact example which has been given in the books of SAFE, or the exact examples which is given in the certification materials. For example, the real-time examples for a strategic theme is cloud computing based services, microservices enabled architecture, tech refresh initiatives, factory of tomorrow, wherein we do R&D activities. These are all real-time examples for the strategic themes. If you go only by bookish knowledge, it is going to tell a strategic theme is going to connect your portfolio vision to the enterprise vision. Okay, but then how? So using jargons without understanding the meaning and the intent is something. What is the pattern I have seen when people prepare only for the sake of a interview, and then sometimes what happens when you actually prepare only for the sake of a interview, it is not going to give you the real-time capability for you to deliver once you join the company. Okay, say for example, I will actually tell you and substantiate with a real-time example. One of the candidate whom we have taken for one of our client, we have actually given that candidate a task saying build a remote agility framework. Okay, so the context is this particular candidate need to come up with some high level model or to build a framework which is going to enhance your collaboration, coordination, communication, working from geographically dispersed teams. Okay, so this is the task given to that particular candidate. Means the candidate means employee. Once that person joined us, week after week we were having discussions with that person. Week after week we were reviewing the model or framework that person created. But what we could sense is that it is not going in any direction. And then when we are asking that person, that particular person is saying, this is something which has not been taught in any of these certifications. This is something which I have not done before. So how I can deliver? But we need to understand your certifications may not cover everything under the sun, right? It will give you some pointers, but you need to somehow pick up that capability, because in your real-time industry, task will be like this. If you become an enterprise coach, or if you are acting as a consultant across multiple engagements, you may need to customize the SAFE model, the scaled agile framework. Like, no, you will not be invited right from the beginning of the engagement. Suddenly you will be pulled in the middle of the engagement, and then the client will tell, we have some problem, we have some problems here, can you just fix it? So the level of capability needed there is distinctively different from the level of capability what is needed to clear a certification exam or a real-time interview too. Because interview is also being taken by people only, right? And based on the perceptions, sometimes we also make some mistakes of picking up the wrong candidate. Okay, so nothing is 100% correct. But the point what I'm trying to say is, in a real-time industry, the situations will be like this. No one will say that, okay, go and implement essential safe. No, already there will be a safe for a client. You may need to go there, understand the pain points in the existing landscape, then do a process improvement. So, like, you need to know how to maneuver through the road despite the traffic condition, right? It's not that the road is free and you can drive your car. So the point is, like, then we had some discussions with that candidate, and unfortunately the candidate was not able to build the framework. And then I spent some time with him. I created a model. I gave him some coaching, and then probably within 3 to 4 weeks, luckily the candidate was able to pick up. So if you are given some task like that, then how are you going to handle it? There comes the habit of continuous learning. Fortunately, if you have that habit or mindset of continuous learning, then probably somewhere you would have went through that situations, or at least heard that situations. Now you can take some steps to plug the gap. So that's why I have defined this slide as cracking jobs alone is not the intent. Building real-time capability is the intent. If you do that, cracking jobs will automatically be taken care. And then believe me, the way you present your answers will be distinctively different. The way you present your answers will have a different level of confidence, and that interviewer can clearly see the energy in you. But if you are preparing only for sake of the interview, I have seen candidates, if I ask a second level question, third level question, they will agree that yes, we have not done it. I heard about dynamic budgeting, but I have not done it hands-on, right? So if I little bit deep dive into second level question, okay, so you are saying that you have funded your value streams, okay. So what is the tool you have used? Did you had any assumptions or limitations, or how did you simulated your value stream funding? So people are not able to answer it once I go the second level or the third level questions, because they have not done it hands-on, right? So probably these are all some of the points. And if you look into the right side, right? So if one has a continuous learning, yes, we are getting into a real-time capability building, understand the intent of the terms, and then you can conquer topic by topic, because you need to read a lot, and it is going to take more time, right? So my suggestion is like this. If you are reading Scrum, just read only Scrum for a week. What is Scrum? What are all the ceremonies of Scrum? What are the principles behind Scrum? What are the artifacts used in the Scrum, and how it has been implemented? Only Scrum for a week. Now you are done with Scrum. Now you pick up Kanban. Understand what does Lean Kanban University says, right? LKU. What is a Kanban method? What is a Kanban board? What is a WIP limit? What are all the principles of Kanban? And many people think that Kanban doesn't have any meetings or cadences. No, absolutely wrong. Lean Kanban University clearly says Kanban also has some cadences or meetings, and in the LKU website itself, it has been mentioned, and it has been covered in the KMP2 certification, though not in the KMP1. So Kanban also has some meetings or cadences. So go through Kanban for a week. Then you pick up DevOps. You spend some 1 week or 10 days. Like this, you may need to pick up chapter by topic. And if you spend 10 to 15 days for one topic, believe me, within 4 to 5 months, at least you would have covered all the colors of the rainbow. Then you rinse and repeat this. If you keep doing this, over a period of 10 months, 1 year, you will know the breadth of the subject, also the depth of the subject. Because the topic of the webinar, this session says, cracking multiple jobs related to Agile in the IT field. If you want to really crack multiple jobs, I don't have any shortcut for success, but I can give you some roadmap. I can give you my experience on how I used to do is that I will pick up topic by topic long back, like 5 years back, 7 years back, when I was bit new to those things and all. I used to pick up topic by topic, and then I used to read a single topic for a long span of time. And then I refer multiple white papers, attend agile meetups, I go and present in some conferences. Then and then I started getting the real-time capability to do it hands-on also. And then you bring back the learnings also, and then consolidate the learning. So probably I am just sharing my perspective. Whatever works out for you, you can make a try. Okay. So let us go back to the chat. I don't have much slides today. Okay. What is the difference between agile and fragile? I'm not sure whether fragile stands for any fake agile or what is that. A quick answer is that probably implementing something else in the name of an agile could have been coined as a fragile, but I actually don't know the context in which you are asking me the question. Okay. And then one more important point, what I like to say is that, from my experience, somewhere in the WhatsApp groups or somewhere in some of the discussion forums, I see people writing a hybrid model, right? Hybrid model as one of the fake agile models. Okay, so maybe they have a perspective to it, which I never deny. But if you refer to Agile Practice Guide, if you refer to PMI Agile Practice Guide, it is clearly mentioned hybrid model can also be viewed as one of the Agile transition strategy. Okay, because what we used to do, we used to create something called Agile suitability filters. Let me actually type it here for the benefit of the audience. Agile suitability filters. Okay, so agile suitability filters is a series of questions based on which you can take a call by running or walkthrough of that particular question. I can take a call. Okay, how much percentage of execution model and planning should be either fully waterfall or a hybrid mix or fully agile? Because we all know that in a real-time industry, we are not executing full waterfall projects nowadays. Okay, typically in a IT domain, and we are not executing full agile also. Somewhere it's a combination of a waterfall model. When I say waterfall, you need not think as waterfall. What I meant is waterfall means plan-driven approaches. Okay, so we still have a high-level plan-driven approach, but then how am I going to execute that plan on a quarterly basis? There you have some agility. It could be if you're using SAFe, you can take your program increment planning. Even if you're not using SAFe, you can still take your release planning. So from my perspective, there's nothing wrong in beginning the journey as a hybrid model, and you need to look into the client's organization, your client's context, and then you can say, okay, what percentage it could be more adaptive in nature and what percentage could be more on a plan-driven approach. Okay, so probably I may suggest you to refer to this agile suitability filters, or you can even Google this PMI's Agile Practice Guide, okay, which is a book. PMI's Agile Practice Guide on hybrid agile as one of the transformation strategy. I'm just pinging it in the chat of the creator portal. Hybrid agile as one of the transformation strategy, and then you will and there you will understand and appreciate it better. Okay, what are all the different models in which, what are the different methodologies in which we can execute a software, which one will be suited most where. Okay, probably you can take from that. Okay, any other thoughts to share or any other questions? Or do you have any other challenges in terms of understanding the JDs, or you can actually put your thoughts in the chat. Okay, and then let me tell, then if you don't have if you have any other questions, let me tell one more thing which I keep hearing recently in the market is product coaches. I think this is one of the role which is emerging or evolving in the job market in IT Agile, something called as a product coaches, which is actually coaching more on the product aspects, on the business mastery of the Agile coaching competency framework. Okay, so if you try to Google on Agile coaching competency framework, which I even mentioned in my yesterday's webinar, you will be able to understand, okay, what are the different sectors of competencies, what are all the different patterns which is being needed. Like it could be a transformation mastery, it could be a business mastery, it could be a software craftsmanship, and your facilitation, teaching, mentoring, training, and the lean concepts. Okay, this is called Agile coaching competency framework. From there also you can pick up some clues to customize your preparation for a job. Okay, I think that could be a good start. Of course, you may need to resonate with the JD for the position, and probably you may need to experiment in few of the interviews, because don't expect the success to come at the first time itself. Even for experienced people, sometimes if they are not aligning well, or if they are not preparing well for the interview, even experienced peoples are not able to clear some of the interviews for whatever be the reason. So don't expect every hit is going to be a success, and don't expect the success to come very easily. Sometimes you may need to do a little bit of extra care or preparation, do some introspective, like to understand, okay, what would have probably went wrong from my end. Okay, did I given my full okay, did I honestly give my 100% potential for the interview? Most likely no. 99.9% the answer will come as no, because you have not prepared well, or because you got some other priority. So some people take things for granted, that I have experience, then why I need to prepare. Then you may need to go out and then face the consequences and then come back, whether if you are able to clear the interview or not. Okay, so you may need to try it out, okay, and then see whatever actually works out for you. Okay, do you have any other questions? I think these are all some of the areas what I had in my mind to share. One is on the product coach, Agile coaching competency framework, and then try to understand more differences between your product owner and product manager. And one more very important point is productized IT, right? Many of the organizations are now working from a project to product mindset. In fact, this is one of the topic covered in my recent webinars, and some people are here who have also been part of that webinar, project to product mindset. So many of the clients have been started asking nowadays, gone are the days, do you have Scrum, Kanban, Safe? Now clients are asking, okay, can you show me the roadmap for your digital transformation? Can you show me how are you going to move from a project mindset to product mindset? Okay, so can you show me the list of quick wins? Okay, do you have a model to verify the return on investment? Like that, nowadays clients are asking some kind of a questions. So probably the way the industry runs is, the way the industry is heading towards is digital transformation, business transformation, business agility, and agile transformation. Everything need to be blended going forward. It's not about Scrum, Kanban, DevOps, or is Safe. Yes, those things are important to some extent from a framework point of view, but from a strategy, visualization, and your road mapping point of view, okay, how does this particular agile transformation is intended to benefit the portfolio? Okay, how does my balance sheets are going to change because of this transformation? Because nowadays the challenge is the definition of success itself keeps evolving, right? So when it evolves, then your acceptance criteria, your strategies, all these things also need to get aligned in a better manner. So probably you may need to go through all these things, okay, and then take it forward. So let me take a minute here. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. In the meantime, I just need to look into certain things. 1 minute. All right, this is covered. Okay. Any other questions? So probably okay. If I want to put my thoughts in this, if you have some 2 to 4 years experience or 2 to 5 years experience, for those set of people, probably full stack engineers, right? A full stack engineer is a person who is able to have the full stack capability or the competency in terms of development, testing, deployment, releasing everything in a single capsule. So probably for people with a lesser years of experience or new to IT, probably I could say full stack engineers is the trend. And people who are almost in the middle level management, they have already played the role of a project manager. Now they are talking about agile transformation, then probably becoming a scrum master or a team level agile coach, or then becoming an RTE could be some of the, because RTE is a term used only in the safe. So the JDs also use the term release train engineer, who is like a lead scrum master or a program level agile coach. You can even take it as an agile coach, because a scrum master himself herself is a team level coach. If you don't have a separate team level agile coach, then the scrum master is expected to play the role of an agile coach. So the probably the RTE could also be taken as a program level coach, right? So probably that could be for a middle layer or a middle management kind of people. People who have 19 years experience, 20 years experience, probably becoming an enterprise agile coach, agile practice head, agile director, kind of a thing. Because see, some people say that in agile world we are not having designations. That is okay, but from a real-time industry, companies still have designations, right? So from that level of fitment, I'm just preparing the my flow of conversation. Designations are not there, entitlements are not there, probably at a framework level, which is agreed. But from an organization level, we still have our bands and other things, right? For certain other valid reasons also. So probably 19 years, 20 years people who has IT experience can aspire for enterprise agile coach, or if you're more interested in the delivery management, come agile coaching kind of a combination, agile practice head or agile transformation office head, something like that. Also, you can you can start looking out for. And whatever I have told in the LinkedIn, go there and put that title, look into jobs and people. At least you will get the closest flavor. From there, you can take it forward. Okay. All right. I don't have much. I just want to talk about my own mentorship program for a minute, and then I can wrap up. In the meantime, if you have any questions or any suggestions or thoughts, you can just put it in the chat. Okay. So taking into consideration whatever we have discussed till date, in my mentorship program, this is the framework what we have in terms of real-time capability building. You can visit this particular website later, Balaji.Agile.com. I'll just put it here in the chat also. Okay. So in this website, you can just go to this particular blog. Just click on the blog. Here I have you can spend some time to look into different levels or capabilities, and then you can also look into the JDC. Means you can also look into the lesson plans what I have encapsulated for different levels. Say for example, okay, if I'm putting level 2, if you can click on read more, and it will actually take to a page wherein I have positioned for a enterprise level agile coaches. You can just go through these particular topics. Okay, you can go through these particular topics, and also you can click on this video and then listen to the video wherein a real-time session has been embedded over there. So these things will at least help you to understand what you know and what you don't know, right? Because first you need to know what you don't know, right? Only then you will try to know it. So probably how to lead a exponential change, how to create a DevOps handbook or a playbook, how to do a cultural transformation model. Okay, I see. I have given from my experience, from my perspective, I have formulated some lesson plan. If you talk to some other expert of Agile, probably he or she may recommend some other topics. Okay, this is my own thought. So like this, if you start connecting with people, trying to do some research within your influence, then I think cracking the interviews and building a capability is not a very Herculean task. Okay, so just go through these lesson plans and play this video. The same logic applies across the level 1, level 2, level 3. And for people who are interested in project and program management, you can click on this thing. Here I have mentioned possibly what are all the topics if you need to know it from an agile project management. Okay, like life cycle selection, agile and a PMO, what are the top 10 metrics for agile organization and how agile project managers can be part of the value chain. Then lean portfolio management, dynamic budgeting, doing agile versus being agile, what do we really mean, and agile governance. Because you're typically in a healthcare domain or in a BFSA domain, you have your compliance and the regulatory mechanisms, right? Like FATCA, CHATCA, and so how are you going to take care of your agile governance at the multiple levels, your project program and the portfolio, and some concepts like okay, your cost performance index, how it can be calculated in a traditional mindset and how it can be tailor made to agile engagement. So these are all the lesson plans which I cover as part of my Agile mentorship program. Probably you can take pointers from these things and you can even start preparing on your own. Okay. So from that perspective, you can try to leverage this particular website. Okay. And of course, you can also take some pointers from my customized agile framework or what, but just don't copy it directly, because in my upcoming book I am going to publish it. Okay, so the point here is that probably you can take some pointers from here and then you can customize it based on your contextual need. So I just wanted to tell these things for now. Okay, I'm pretty much done because I don't have much PPTs and all today. Okay, so based on these pointers you can get it going. So we can wrap up the session, or if you have any questions, I will give 2 or 3 minutes for you to type your questions. In the meantime, I will share you some other links of mine. You can be in touch with me through these links. Anyone wants to ask any other question? So my say is you first define your career trajectory, or where is that you exactly wanted to go. If you are taking agile as your path, where is that you exactly wanted to go? So based on that, you may need to customize your preparation and then keep going from there. So for people who are joining this session first time, you can take pointers from these links of mine, my private Facebook group, wherein I post multiple agile videos, on my LinkedIn URL, where I write some blogs or post all the things on the LinkedIn portal. And I also started doing something on my Twitter also recently. You can take, yeah. Okay, so I think I'm done. If you wanted to talk, if you wanted to connect with me, or you want to send a team to my, you want to send a mail to my digital team on any of the inquiries pertaining to either mentorship program, or if you have any general doubts, you can send a mail to these mail IDs. Either me or my digital team will come back to you. Okay. Okay, I'm actually done. We can wrap up the session for now, if you don't have any questions. Okay, are we good to go then? Can someone confirm? Okay, Subramaniam says okay. And I also suggest to people to copy these particular chats in a notepad. Just select all and copy and paste it in a notepad, and then keep it for our future reference. So what kind of questions people asked and what answers we have typed, something like that, because the recording will anyway be shared on the social media platform, but you cannot get this chat just by looking into those videos. So I may still say that you can copy and paste this particular chat in a notepad for your future reference. All right then, cheers. Okay, connect with you later. Bye. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thanks. Bye.